The Nile slips through the dark like a vein of ink under the moon, silent and unending, its waters carrying secrets older than any scripture. A single reed bends in the hush of the riverbank, brushed by the breath of dawn. Midwives whispered prayers as he was lifted, squirming and blood-slick, to the sky. The priests read omens in the afterbirth. If the stars aligned, if the jackal did not howl, he was declared Horus incarnate, not a child but a god. When they raised their staff, crowds wept and bowed and threw flowers, but none dared look too long. Pharaohs had their enemies sealed in jars. They erased names from obelisks. They cursed the dead to wander forever. There were trapdoors and false chambers, chests carved with falcon wings, jars full of liver and lung, statues with wide blank eyes to serve in the afterlife. The gods did not strike them down. The sun rose just the same. They were boys and men, and sometimes women, crushed beneath the weight of divinity, desperate to leave behind a name the sand cannot erase. Some ruled with cruelty, some ruled with grace, but all of them, every last one, feared the same thing: to be nothing, to be unloved, to be forgotten beneath the stars they once claimed to command. The power of the pharaohs was never eternal, only the illusion of it. Today their names are spoken by scholars in museums, their bones laid bare beneath glass. They are no longer divine. They are dust. The boy king who trembled in gold sandals is now measured in centimeters, his deformities discussed by pale men in lab coats. He is studied, labeled, forgotten again. The pharaoh would be painted smiling on the wall, seated with the gods, while his real body was sliced, dried, wrapped, and sealed. Sometimes his feet were broken to fit the coffin. Sometimes the embalmer wept. Sometimes he did not. Around him, gold. So much gold it weighed down the bearers, amulets, scarabs, rings, and daggers. But also curses, inscribed in red ink and blood, warning the living not to open what should stay shut. They believed truly that magic ran in their blood, and sometimes it did. They touched scarabs and stars, burned oils that smelled of oranges and dust. They listened to the whispers of the high priests, who in turn feared them and flattered them in equal measure. But what power cannot hide is the body, the ache of bones, the rot of infection, the fevers that even divinity cannot prevent. And from then on, nothing he touched would be ordinary. There were the shrieks of servants beaten for breaking a vessel, the coughs of the old eunuchs who slept near the kitchens, the ceaseless chanting of prayers meant to keep evil at bay. And always, always the smell of incense, sweet and thick, not just for ceremony, but to cover the stink of sweat and blood and fear, for even gods could be murdered. Some pharaohs drank wine laced with lotus and never awoke. Some were found in baths, water-tinted pink. Some vanished, their names scratched from tomb walls as if they had never ruled. His food would be tasted by another, his bath poured by 5 men, his every gesture taught, weighed, watched. Yet the palace was not warm, its walls echoed. Behind the perfume of myrrh and the carvings of lotuses and lions, there is something else, something older, darker, threaded through every corridor, the inescapable weight of death. Somewhere deep within the redstone palace of Memphis or Thebes, a boy king awakes. He is called Divine, the son of Ra, yet he is only 12 and shivers when the cold desert air touches his bare shoulders. A servant places golden sandals on his feet, sandals he will never lace himself. Around him, the painted walls stare down with wide eyes, falcons, crocodiles, ankhs, and cobras, watching him even in sleep. His name is already etched on temple stones, but he has not yet learned to write it. This is what it means to be pharaoh, to be sacred, imprisoned, worshipped, and utterly alone. From the moment of birth, he belonged not to a family, but to eternity. Pharaohs ruled a land where the dead never left. The tomb was not an end, but a preparation, begun often before the beard had grown in. Builders, priests, and poisoners walked the same halls. To govern Egypt was to sleep beneath a roof of conspiracies. A cousin with ambitions, a wife with secrets, a general with too many followers. The boy king smiled when told to. He waved from balconies of gold leaf. He married a sister to keep the bloodline pure. But the bloodline itself had begun to rot. Generations of inbreeding, twisted spines, and thin skulls. The gods demanded purity. Nature gave punishment. Some pharaohs limped. Some died in their teens. Some choked on their own tongues in silence, while scribes wrote songs of their glory. Yet their power was real. A word from their mouth sent men to the mines, stripped women from their homes, summoned soldiers from Nubia. Beneath the gold there were flies. Behind the linen there were sores. The heat was merciless. The palace was not quiet. And then there was the burial, the glorious end. The tomb was a city beneath the earth, but centuries passed. Stones shifted. Thieves came. They pried open lids, tore linens, pulled teeth from the skulls of kings, and still the Nile flows. The reeds bend. Somewhere a child dreams of pyramids. The pharaohs were not gods. They were not monsters.